How's it going, guys? ZedEye here. So let's talk about Rise of the Ronin. I think you may already know how I feel about it since I already made a video about it, and well, it wasn't exactly all positive. Now, I had some concerns with it, but of course, since we've got a brand new look towards its gameplay and with the breakdown as well, and what to expect out of this game. There's a little bit of an article I want to read out as well from PlayStation Blog, just to have a little bit of a summary and my thoughts as well. But first of all, I want to share my thoughts regarding this trailer. So I think this trailer did its job in terms of what we should be expecting out of this game. Was I right? To an extent, I think I was. Was I wrong as well? Yeah, I think so too. Now, this game has a lot of similarities from Nioh and, of course, Wulong and Ghost of Tsushima. And in fact, this has, well, at least it seemed like it's closer towards Ghost of Tsushima than Nioh, and I think that might be a good thing. Now, once again, I want to mention that this game should have been released before Ghost of Tsushima did in 2020. In fact, this game looks quite outdated comparing this. But again, we can't just say this game looks bad and so this means I have to say that it's not good enough. No, because obviously the developers perhaps made that kind of decision not to make the game as pretty as possible, but instead perhaps all their concentration went into the gameplay and maybe the story included. But of course, if you know how the story evolves in terms of the Team Ninja's, well, the team, right, the developers, well, you'll know that unfortunately the story is not going to be the main important fact. The story might be the big problem within this game. I don't know, this is just my speculation regarding the story, but the combat that we have noticed and seen does look, well, good, but I can't say if it's different, because obviously, like I mentioned, it is quite similar to Nioh, Wulong, and of course Ghost of Tsushima. Now, if this would have been more of Ghost of Tsushima than Nioh, then my goodness, this game would have been, well, perhaps it would have been brilliant. But there are elements in it, but not necessarily it's done so that are taking the best elements from Ghost of Tsushima. But the thing is, I'm noticing that it's taken a lot of inspiration from Ghost of Tsushima, the good and the bad. That's including Nioh, the good and the bad. But, I think that it may have turned my mind around a little bit regarding this new gameplay presentation. But I'm still a little bit hesitant, to be honest with you. Okay, I want to read out this little article, and I just, what I think about it, what extra information they can give me, so that I could actually summarize my thoughts and maybe even change my mind a little bit more. Who knows? So, a little article called by the new Rise of the Ronin gameplay trailer showcases combat traversal and player choice. Today, we're excited to share a new look at the action-packed gameplay of the Rise of the Ronin, where the Team Ninja are crafting at the liberating open world bristling with tense combat opportunities that are woven together with the complex storyline. Let's take a new look at free-form, traversal options, combat mechanics, and the development of character relationships based on your actions. So, fighting like a Ronin. A variety of weapons are available for battling your enemies. In addition to Team Ninja's signature swordplay, you can wield Japanese spears and ranged firearms, including the foreign pistols. Hybrid Japanese Western weapons are also options. Use the flamethrower-like fire pipe to roast groups and ignite flammable barrels, or wield the bayonet to deflect blades and counter rifle blasts. Choosing your combat style and keeping your enemy's armaments in mind is key to gaining advantage in the battle. This is more of a Nioh-style combat out of notice from here, and of course with this description, so this is not going to be exactly the same thing as it was from Ghost of Tsushima. As Team Ninja fans know, timing is key in melee combat. The new trailer showcases a heated battle between swordsmen, where stance selection, blocking, and timed parries are critical to defeating foes. You can also wield a versatile grappling rope to pull distant enemies in during fights or perform stealthily takedown on an unaware sentry. Player can also use a rope to launch themselves towards foes and close the gap. Prepare to use every tool available to overcome the fearsome threats facing our fated Ronin. Now, this is again more of a Nioh style, but then they mentioned stealthily taking down your enemies. We actually did see that. For example, your character uses the grappling hook, pulls the enemy downwards, and you just making a strike, like more or less of an assassination. But I've noticed that you didn't even end up killing the fella. Instead, you only took majority of his health, but he was still alive. So, like I said, like this doesn't seem like it's gonna be a true stealth component in this game, unfortunately. And I hope you can actually do a lot of stealth moves in here too. But of course, if they wanted to decide to go with like a 1v1 battle groups and tactics that you'll have to make sure to win against these foes, sure, I guess that could work, but again, I just want this to actually have a proper assassin elements in here. For example, you actually coming back behind an unaware enemy and you taking them on and you killing them in one hit because they did not notice you. I think it would make more sense for this style of game, but if it just isn't here, and so far it didn't seem like it's here, it's a little bit disappointing, to be honest with you. So it doesn't exactly have a proper open world element, at least that to an extent that was similar to Ghost of Tsushima. Yes, I know a lot of you may say, well, why are you making so many comparisons? And my question is, why not? Because obviously we want to have a better game than we had before, because it will end up being that Ghost of Tsushima is once again 4 years old game that in the coming well, in a few more months it will be 4 years old, and it still is a better game than this. And yet Team Ninja had so much more experience of making these sort of styles of games, because they made already Nioh, Nioh 2, Wulong, and now this. Ghost of Tsushima, Sucker Punch only made, well, Ghost of Tsushima, and yet that already has actually far better implementation, open world gameplay, combat mechanics, the assassination with the stealth component, and yet they do it better. It's just like, what's going on here? Now, of course, again, there are a lot of different components in here. I can't just make that kind of comparison. I get it. Let's continue. Traversing Japan. Plenty of choices are available when covering ground in the late 19th century Japan. Your grappling rope is useful outside combat to scale rooftops and other heights, allowing you to gain leverage in a flash. Mounting a trusty horse also allows you to gallop across open fields to mission objectives faster. The ingenious Avicula is one of the traversal options we at Team Ninja are most excited about. This marvel of engineering allows you to instantly deploy a lightweight set of wings, perfect for gliding through the air. Players can sprint across rooftops, grappling to the distant heights, and deploy their glider in midair, using an upward momentum to soar through this air. You can adjust your direction, speed, close, wings, and at any moment, and get stealthy drops on unsuspecting enemies. Player choice. In addition to choices of combat and traversal styles, players can also impact Rise of the Ronin's world with their actions during the story missions. At one point in the new trailer, we see players choose to help a character named Igashishi fight a group of hostile guards. This choice to help establish a bond between these characters lets players get to know Igashishi more deeply and unlocks other game features. You'll be able to make these choices with additional characters such as Ryoma Sakamoto, highlighted in the previous trailer. Who you choose to develop a relationship with impacts how the story unfolds. However, there are no disadvantage to bonding with character at the expense of another. Consider it even more variety of your next playthrough. We can't wait for everyone to immerse themselves in the world inspired by compelling time in Japanese history. Embody a Ronin and forge your fate starting March 22nd, 2024. Still disappointed the fact that it's coming out on March 22nd. Seriously, like, you need to move on from Dragon's Dogma 2. In fact, I think that it would actually be beneficial for this game, perhaps maybe release it in April or May, because there's just nothing really coming out during those days. Well, other than April, of course, we've got Stellar Blade coming on that date. So, but I still think this game is quite different and it could work for it, to be coming out in April or May. Either way, what do I think? I think that, well, it seems like it's going to be having a component of an assassinations, but again, I have to see for myself. Well guys, what do you think about this game? Are you apprehensive about it? Do you trust it? Do you think it will work out? Do you think it looks good? Do you think it looks bad? I'm quite skeptical, that's all I can say. Thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe. See you guys all, and have a wonderful day.